Is the Konza Smart City project on course?
It was meant to be an exemplar city as a smart city so that other cities could come there and learn from there.
The first building at Konza is approaching completion.
And what lessons can be borrowed from South Korea that has a track record of successful smart cities?
Strong leadership is needed to protect the project.
Here, ideas are brought together in the tech cities. They are nurtured, they are incubated.
Yes, lessons from South Korea on successful smart cities. That is the focus of our show today. Welcome, I'm your host Alex Chamwada. But first, here is our fact sheet. South Korea's population is estimated at 51.47 million. Its capital city is Seoul. Seoul's metropolitan area is the second largest metropolitan in the world, with more than 25.6 million people, which is half of all the residents in the country. South Korea has experienced remarkable success in combining rapid economic growth with significant reductions in poverty. Government policies resulted in real GDP growth averaging 10% annually between 1962 and 1994. The country is an exceptional example of an aid recipient country that turned to a high-income country.
Korea was a poor country, and still we are poor in the natural resources. So the development strategy of Korea was to import raw materials from the other countries and add the value on the raw materials and export them to other countries.
This is Pangyo New Town that is situated about 20 kilometers from Seoul City. It is one of South Korea's new smart cities. The project was initiated in 2004 and the final plan was approved in 2006. Constructions were done between 2006 and 2012. It was developed by a government-owned corporation that is known as Korea Land and Housing Corporation that is responsible for development of land and cities in South Korea.
Yes, we have built about 30 new towns, 20 around Seoul, and the rest of them were built in the regional area.
Pangyo City is the home to Pangyo Techno Valley, an industrial complex also known as the Silicon Valley of Korea.
Towns have a better living environment. Now people can enjoy wide open space and very good parks and good schools, hospitals. So our lifestyle had advanced to the level of developed country. Also, it created a lot of jobs. To build new towns, we invested a lot of money in the housing area and the infrastructures and all other public services. So all those investments created a lot of jobs. And it also had a positive effect to the economy.
There are 870 companies and a total of 60,000 employees in Pangyo. The maximum capacity is 80,000 people. 7 out of the 10 biggest gaming companies in Korea are located in Pangyo. Many companies moved from Seoul to Pangyo. Among the reasons are cheaper land prices and the local government support system.
You fail to attract people from the city, then your project will fail. That's why you need good infrastructures. At first, it is very difficult to create jobs in the new towns. So people should commute to the existing cities. Without infrastructures, they cannot commute to the existing cities. Then they don't come to live in the new towns because they cannot access their jobs.
Techno valleys in Korea are playing an important role in innovation, creating new jobs, and as hubs of technology startups. They are supported by the government through policy measures as, for example, tax cuts, low-interest loans, or an expansion of the infrastructure.
To build a new town, you need agreement from a variety of departments and agencies, government authorities. So if there is not strong leadership, it is not easy to draw a consensus from all the departments and stakeholders with a different interests. So if you don't have those strong leadership, that's why it is not easy to implement and to lead those complicated projects.
Many such projects in the developing world fail because of political interference and mismanagement of resources. I sought to find out if South Korea experiences the same.
There were some interferences, and that's why strong leadership is needed to protect the project from the private interferences from the political sectors. Fortunately, the president president was aware of the importance of this part, so he watched this project very carefully and he checked the process of the new town project every day. So it's not easy for the politicians to interfere with negative purposes. So that's why our project was successful.
There are many similar smart cities in South Korea. 60,000 people in the city are producing goods and services worth $70 billion US as compared to Kenya's $98 billion, despite Kenya's population being 46 million people. Another place that is a must visit in South Korea is the digital media city, Seoul's hub for media, entertainment, and IT industry. Here at the digital media city, you find broadcasting, movies, games, music, e-learning, and other facilities related to digital media. Pangyo New Town and the digital media city are some of the places a Kenyan delegation recently visited as part of a knowledge-sharing program supported by the government of South Korea. The Chief Executive Officer of the Konza Technopolis Development Authority, Engineer John Tanui, explains.
KSP, that is the knowledge sharing program, is a policy support program provided by the Korean government through one of their trade agencies called KOTRA. And KOTRA, that's Konza Technopolis Development Authority, applied for this grant. And we got a grant to support a policy guidelines and pre-feasibility study to see the possibility of establishing a digital media city at Konza. And we had this program launched last year in November. We brought in the stakeholders who we had engagement here in Kenya, and also we had a sponsored trip under this program to Korea, where we had a delegation of 25 people from Kenya, including from legislature, county government. We had the governor of Makueni County, we had several government agencies, Konza ourselves, and also the private sector. So it was a complete team to see what Koreans have done to unlock the potentials of digital media in their country. And it was quite a very successful trip because we were able to see what they have done. We were able to learn from their journey and to see what we can do in Konza Technopolis.
We've been able to find time to tour some of the facilities that are involved in a number of things: content creation, gaming, and more importantly, animation work.
If we're able to put together a digital media city that can be able to support and put in place the necessary resources as well as the infrastructure to be able to grow the market, then we'll be in a very good place. Because right now in Kenya, when it comes to talent, when it comes to skill, when it comes to education, we are in a good place. We do have what it is and what it takes to be able to grow and take the market to the next level.
The thing that has really struck me on this trip is how much devotion there is to incubation and to supporting young people and to supporting startups and to supporting new ideas, to supporting innovation. That is where the future lies, and just the amount of energy they've put into incubating, that is the thing that has struck me the most. Now I understand why they're a powerhouse. It's because they actually invest in it with their own people.
As a country, we have an opportunity. We have a youthful population that is very active in media and film industry. We thus need to do more, focus more, allocate more to address the challenges and unlock the opportunities that are available within the sector.
When you compare Kenya and Korea 50 years ago, they were more or less at the same level. Today, Korea has a GDP of $1.7 trillion. Kenya has a GDP of $77 billion. Kenya is only 5% of what Korea is, yet we started at the same point. Just being here for the last 1 week has shown us that if you invest in the knowledge-based economies, and if you invest in ICT and if you invest in innovation, you can actually grow cluster industries and you can improve the competitiveness of your country at a global scale.
You are watching Lessons on Smart Cities from South Korea. We now take a short break. When we return,
It was meant to be an exemplar city as a smart city so that other cities could come there and learn from there.
are the founders of this project happy with its progress? Welcome back. We are discussing lessons from South Korea on successful smart cities and whether Kenya's flagship smart city project, that is Konza City, is on course.
Konza Technopolis project is anchored on two pillars. One is world-class infrastructure. The second one is the pillar of innovation, technology and knowledge economy. The driver for this second pillar of innovation, technology and knowledge economy will be a research institute. And we were very privileged that we got Korean government to support Kenya. As you are aware, Korea has been ranked for the last 6 years as the most innovative nation in the world.
I'm now at the Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology. This university played a key role in the transformation of South Korea. I'm here to meet the authorities to learn more on why the university was established and its achievements. Remember, the Konza Technopolis Development Authority is in the process of establishing a similar university at the Konza City as its anchor tenant.
KAIST was founded in 1971. At that time, President Park of South Korea had a plan for economic development, and he needed the people to develop the industry. So he needed the manpower, the primarily scientists and engineers for the industries. With the aid of the United States, they developed a plan for a school that could educate these scientists and engineers for South Korea. And KAIST served this purpose. If you look at the Korean industries, especially the ICT industry, about a quarter of the top engineers are from KAIST, and also about 20 to 25% of engineering faculties in South Korea are from KAIST.
As the anchor tenant of the Konza Smart City, the Kenya Advanced Institute of Science and Technology is expected to be a catalyst of innovation, benchmarking the Korean experience.
KAIST, which is now the Kenya Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, which is a project within Ministry of Education but located in Konza, will help position Konza as a driver for technology, and innovation and knowledge economy for the country. So where we are now is at the design of the curriculum and the physical infrastructure. And the consortium leading this from Korea is Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology.
The Konza project has been slow due to low funding, but the site is now busy. with the management expressing confidence that the transformation of the dusty plains of Konza into Africa's silicon savanna will become a reality.
In addition to having the location that's the 5,000 acres of land, we have now a contractor at the site who is building the horizontal infrastructure. That is at the phase 1, 400 acres of the Konza Technopolis to put up the basic amenities that is required for a city. And we expect to see progress as we go along. There is already good work going on at the moment.
This building will be the headquarters of Konza Technopolis Development Authority that is in charge of the development of the smart city. It is about to be completed.
We are in discussion with many companies. At the moment, one of the basic requirements is we need office spaces. Second is we need accommodation spaces. So we have several local companies who have expressed interest to put up office spaces and residential spaces at Konza. And we've allocated spaces to a number of these companies. Now up to about 17 companies have been allocated spaces at Konza Technopolis. And they are going through the final stages to complete the process and to start their development. We also have international players. We have real estate developers from South Africa who have expressed interest. We also have multinationals who are interested to set up certain facilities in Konza. We have a group from America who are very keen to set an hospital in Konza. We have a similar one from South Africa. And kind of interest we are getting is quite impressive. We have some of the leading tech companies in Kenya who wants to locate their software development campuses at Konza. So as soon as the infrastructure is in place, we will see quite more interest, and also those who have already committed to now start their development.
The Konza City project is the brainchild of former Permanent Secretary for Information and Communication, Dr. Bitange Ndemo.
It was meant to be an exemplar city as a smart city so that other cities could come there and learn from there. Now what you see MCAs doing, they travel to Rwanda to see what a beautiful city looks like. Even Rwanda is struggling to create a smart city. So when you go to a green field like Konza, we were meant to do every infrastructure in such a way that it can support the city for the next 100 years.
Dr. Ndemo is disappointed that the vision of spreading smart cities across Kenya in counties is not being realized.
This is what those who made our constitution meant by saying the counties should plan for the small cities that are coming up. But there's no planning going on. Everybody's building where they want to build, and then a few years down the road, we are saying the road is going to pass through here, meaning you have to demolish, you have to pay that person money.
But when it comes to progress in Konza, Dr. Ndemo says there is good progress.
It's very much on course because the investors have come the way we had envisaged. And I think government is committed, they have put resources. You can see infrastructure coming up. I don't know whether they are following the original dreams or whether they have changed them. But it looks like it's going on.
The next phase is to attract investors and to allow our investors to start work at Konza between now and the next 5 years. We will see quite developments now by the private sector, because the Kenya government, who is required to handle about 10% of the works and the investment in Konza. And for the first phase, what the government has already done is quite sufficient. And most recently, we got support of Ministry of ICT to locate one of the national data centers at Konza Technopolis.
Dr. Ndemo says for Konza to become a real modern smart city, they must get infrastructure right.
What we meant to do, that you don't just build the roads, underneath the roads, if you go to Tokyo, for example, there are tunnels for cabling. If they want to put a new wire in Tokyo, they will do it in a very short period of time, because the tunnels are there. If it is power, if it is ICTs, if it is water, because the tunnels, the provision was made for infrastructure. Here we don't make provision for infrastructure. So you say just put the pipes there, and then tomorrow we are saying, oh, we want to put power underneath, then another day we want to put fiber optics. So we don't plan ahead.
From the Korean experience, commitment and strong leadership is important, and Kenyans will be watching the project keenly amid skepticism given the slow pace of implementation of many mega projects in the country, coupled with the reports of poor management of resources.
When we see countries like Korea, South Korea, advancing, it is the time that they have put collectively in their country, and for us in Africa, we need to get serious. Their leadership, it is serious business. You see, if, for example, now wherever you are, if you are engaged in corruption and there's suspicion of corruption, they jail you, even if you're a president.
There are many institutions that are helping us to ensure we stay on course. We have a very competent board. We have good leadership to ensure that the project is implemented as required. We have the leadership of our ministry led by CS Chomusheru, who is also ensuring that the project's vision is realized. And we have a very capable team. We have put in place a team that is really very strong and competent to deliver this project and to ensure that it is done in compliance with the required processes.
It is all about commitment and strong leadership. That's what has contributed to South Korea's success when it comes to establishing smart cities. And on that note, we come to the end of our show today. Many thanks for watching. I'm your host, Alex Chamada. See you again next time.